Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Beatles Forever. We're back with Mal, and I'm glad that everyone's been enjoying the story so far. It hasn't been easy seeing Mal separating from his family and leaving England for California, but it was his life and he felt led to go there. So let's see what's going on today. In the spring, John and Harry flew to New York City to put Strange Pussy's project to bed. RCA Records didn't want that title on the album, so Harry was forced to rename the album Pussycats. Mal would receive credit as the production assistant. John and Harry couldn't help using a not-so-hidden puzzle that spelled out the words drugs on the cover of the album. While they were in the city, John and Harry spoke at an April 28th March of Dimes benefit in Central Park. New Jersey native Mark Papados met up with John at the nearby Pierre Hotel that same day and pitched the idea of a convention for Beatle fans. Lapidos remembered I told him about my idea for a convention for Beatle fans to mark the 10th anniversary of the band coming to America. We would watch the Fab films, enjoy presentations by special guests and music experts, listen to live music, and buy and sell Beatle items. It would be something for everyone. Lennon gushed with excitement about the idea, exclaiming, "I'm all for it. I'm a Beatles fan too." And back in California, Mal seized the moment for himself. He would act as a talent scout while doing songwriting. He had discovered Badfinger and Splinter, which was impressive in itself. So that May, Mal attended an artist showcase event for a Beverly Hills band called Silver Spoon. After working together over the past several years, the group felt it was high time that they made their move. They knew they were ready for their big break. Keyboard player Blair Anderson recalled, "Prior to the showcase, we'd never done anything. They had gained a reputation as a bunch of slackers." Area nightclub manager Rodney Bienheimer had taken to saying Silver Spoon talks the biggest game in town. So Mal attended the band's showcase in the company of record plant engineer Bob Merritt. It was held at Studio Instrument Rentals. This was a production services outfit on Sunset Boulevard. The invitation-only event was limited to top producers, engineers, and label execs. The band consisted of sons of actors, and that's how they named the band. Joey Hamilton, the son of comedian Carol Burnett, on lead vocals, Jimmy Heimer and Stephen Greaves on guitar, Chaz Sanford on bass, Aronson on keyboards, and Miguel Ferrer on drums. Miguel was the son of Jose Ferrer and singer Rosemary Clooney. He had the finest pedigree of the lot, although the other band members were just as good. Silver Spoon's performance left a lot to be desired. From the beginning, they were doomed. A garage band in every sense of the word, the sextet had little live experience among them. But as parties go, the Silver Spoon Showcase was a success. Mal enjoyed himself there. The partiers convened at the Continental Hyatt House, the Riot House, and Local Talk. It was a madhouse, wall-to-wall people. Hamer wrote, "There was total debauchery at the Riot House, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. My brother Robbie was there watching his big brother snort a white powdered substance in a closet where the mirrored doors had been recently ripped off, with Mal and two big-breasted bimbos, and they weren't alone. There were groupies and rock wannabes in all shapes, sizes, and colors, mingling, eating, smoking, and drinking." After their performance, Silver Spoon was surprised when Mal phoned their manager, Larry Gordon, and invited them to join him at the record plant. With Merritt in tow, Mal announced that they were interested in producing the band. In short order, they set about recording demos at the record plant. "We would begin our demo sessions at odd hours, usually around 2 or 3 in the morning," Hamer recalled, "because we had to wait for studio to become available. The hardest part was always cleaning up and rolling the cables at 7 or 8 in the morning after we were dead tired. But Bob Merritt was like a drill sergeant major, and we had to listen from the studio, our Shangri-La. The band wasn't sure about Mal, whether he had solid production experience, but we didn't care. He had Beatles stories that nobody else had, and we listened attentively. They enjoyed a special kick when he would say, 'I used to have 4 brothers, John, Paul, George, and Richie, but now I have 10, Joey, Jimmy, Stephen, Chaz, Blair, and Miguel.' The boys enjoyed a laugh when Mal used to pronounce Miguel's name like it had a W instead of the U, sounding like Miguel. You didn't get much better than that. When they weren't recording demos with Mal and Bob, the wide-eyed bandmates enjoyed being mesmerized by the likes of Harry, John, and Ringo walking the halls of the record plant. After they recorded the basic tracks for Silver Spoon's demos, Mal and Bob called the guys back to the record plant for a meeting. Mal was seated behind the desk in Chris Stone's office. "Now you boys can do whatever you want to," he began, "but if you want Bob and myself to continue with this project, I feel we need to make some changes in the rhythm section. Sorry, Miguel, but I feel we need a different drummer. And Chaz, you just don't have the Spoon vibe." At this point, Silver Spoon had a choice to make. We could pull up our apron strings, band together, and tell Mal and Bob to stick it where the sun don't shine, or we could go along with the politics of the situation and continue the journey without Chaz and Miguel. While he was working with Silver Spoon, Mal continued to work on his songwriting career. He thought he caught a break when he met Norman Curbin, a songwriter with an impressive list of credentials and his own publishing outfit, Circus Wheels Production. Curbin was 27 when he met up with Mal, and Curbin had already made a name for himself, creating arrangements for popular artists like Rita Coolidge, Buddy Miles, and Chris Christopherson, who was Ken Mansfield's outlaw country star. His biggest coup had been composing and conducting the strings for Carole King's Rhymes and Reasons LP. Mal thought that Curran could be the perfect songwriting partner, a seasoned arranger who could bring his lyrics to life in every song. Mal said, "I play very bad guitar, 3 chords. Musically oriented, yes, but not a guitarist. I'm a lyricist." He enjoyed working with Curbin and liked to boast about the composer's status as a musical prodigy. Curbin was 11 when he conducted his own symphony and played by the London Philharmonic in Germany for a big convention. Mal liked to tell the people, and he won first prize with it. He's the musician. Mal met Curbin through Fran. Mal said that Francine thought that his music and my lyrics should go together, telling each of us at different times that the other was right for him. But the more Fran got to know Curbin, she started to think the songwriter was a little on the strange side, and that he had a dark personality. Even so, she couldn't deny that he was a talented pianist. Mal became fast friends with him, just like he did with most people he met. He got involved in the musician's life, and when he wasn't dreaming up new tunes with Curbin at his place in the valley, the bigger-than-life roadie would spend hours teaching the pianist's 7-year-old son, Andy, how to play chess. Fran in time would regret the many ways in which California changed Mal during this period, an era in which the common denominator seemed to be vats of alcohol and bowls of cocaine. Fran wasn't a stranger to the rock and roll lifestyle, but she had her limits. She could party with the best of them, but she had her daughter's welfare to think of and her high-powered job at the record plant. There were a lot of drugs in California, she said. It was free and easy. Cocaine would pick you up and make you feel good about yourself. But how would the drug affect Mal, who, in Fran's words, could never believe in himself? At Capitol, an entire subculture existed to keep the record label humming. At the center of the action was Janet Nichols, a vivacious PR woman with purple streaks in her brown hair. She was known in the Capitol corridors as Janet Planet because of her spacey behavior, and Nichols would amuse staff and visitors alike by roller skating around the building. She was a pretty lady, engineer Richard Digby Smith recalled, just kind of wild and kind of crazy. Janet Planet worked for Dennis Keelan, who ran Capitol's advertising division out of the tower's 9th floor. Keelan recalled that November day when Mal got Ringo up on the roof of the tower to shoot a promotional video for his Goodnight Vienna LP. For the album's cover art, Ringo's face had been superimposed over the body of actor Michael Rennie from the 1961 sci-fi classic The Day the Earth Stood Still. To capture the art's space opera feel, Colleen staged a helicopter shoot to capture Ringo wearing a form-fitting spacesuit, waving from the top of the tower. Kellen would never forget Mal, the big burly guy accompanying Ringo as they walked out toward the roofline. The ad man was particularly concerned because they had brought along Harry Nilsson to the shoot. Harry was clearly intoxicated and clad in a brown bathrobe. Killen knew that Nilsson was having a little coke problem at this time and wanted to complete the shoot as quickly as possible before the singer tumbled to his death from the roof of the tower. And it was at this time that Mal had an increased dependence on cocaine. compounded at times by his excessive drinking, and it left him in a precarious state in which low esteem became exacerbated, his need to please more acute, and when he became depressed, his capacity for self-pity could feel overwhelming. So I'm going to end the video here. In this episode, Mal was still trying to make his dreams come true. He started to be a talent scout, finding silver spoons, and then he continued to try and write songs, teaming up with a pianist that Fran was starting to doubt that he was someone that Mal should be around. She was also concerned about Mal and how being in California had changed him. She could party, but she knew how to put limits to it because she had to take care of her daughter, and she had a high-paying job. But Mal liked to overdo the cocaine and alcohol, which made him have low self-esteem. Then he got depressed and would have self-pity for himself. So it wasn't a very good combination. And it sounds like Mal should have stayed with his family in England. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and I also want to wish everyone a good day. Tune in again soon for another episode of the Beatles Forever. Thank you. Bye.